Yeah, let's talk about that because I didn't grow up in like a Mexican household per se.
Yeah, that's what's interesting.
I grew up.
Wait. You're gonna say it all now, and then we not gonna. You feel me?
Oh no, I can say it 100 times.
I always be like that.
Right?
We get here, we sit down, we start talking, and I'm like, damn, we missing all the good stuff for the camera.
I've got so many theories and suspicions. I don't fuck with no organized religions. Today is the day I follow my intuitions. Let the ancestors guide me and help me.
Another episode of Hold the Elevator podcast.
Yes, sir.
Dot, do you finally have a slogan?
Nah, man. I don't think we need one.
Jazz said she was gonna give us one, but she didn't come through.
Nah, not yet. But hopefully.
It is January, February, March. It's April, right?
March.
No.
Jesus, I'm tripping. It's March, which is Women's History Month. We're trying to get as
Jesus.
many
You
women
need
in here as
this.
possible. I know, I'm tripping. I'm sorry, man. Don't do that. Don't
Then he
do
said
that.
Jesus. And he an
What
atheist.
Jesus are we talking
it's
about?
Women's History Month. We're trying to get all of the influential, creative women in here, and
That's
we
right.
definitely have one of those today. Reecee joins us. How are you?
Oh, we've been rolling this whole time?
Yeah, we rolling.
Oh, my
Matter of
God.
fact,
I'm
do
sorry,
you-
Grandma. I didn't even talk about Jesus like that. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry.
That's the best part when you don't
Sorry,
think
Mama.
the cameras are on. We get
We-
some good stuff.
We know you as Reecee.
Yes.
So are you Reecee to the public or are you RX?
To the public, I'm RX.
Okay.
My
okay.
close friends call me Reecee. Yes.
Got you. Which is short for
Marisa.
Marisa.
Yes.
Which I call her Marisa because I
Yes,
can't roll my
because
shit.
he can't roll
Yeah.
the R, so.
Yeah, we made a deal that we call each other our governments like a year
Yes.
ago.
That's a part of being in LA now, bro. You have to roll your R's.
Is that I know I'm slipping, bro.
You're a resident now.
Like, bro, what's wild? I asked my sister about being a minority, about like, we were talking about something, and she's like, we're not the minority anymore. Minorities aren't the minority.
Exactly.
We never were.
We never been,
We
though.
never were.
Never
I mean, in
been.
America.
You know what I'm saying? We
Okay, in
never were.
expand on that, please.
America, they were purposely shipping in people from European countries to keep us as the minority. But if you look at the numbers, we've kind of always been the majority.
Like from day one.
Yeah.
Like brown people from day one.
But they tell us
Melanated
that
people from
right.
day one.
But they tell us that we're the minority, and then we believe the lie, and then
Righteous.
we grow up. Oh, we're the minority. We're minorities. No, we are the majority. We've been the majority. But they want to tell us that, so we do have to break that stigma.
For sure.
Yes.
100%.
That brings me to my first topic I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes.
Me and Dot always talk about great shit before the camera comes on.
Yeah.
Dot,
Always
now when
necessary.
we have guests, Dot's like, no, be quiet.
Yeah.
The camera's on.
Like, no talking. No talking. No talking to the cameras rolling.
But we wanted to talk about you being a self-proclaimed Blaxican.
Yes,
Because
I'm Blaxican.
I don't hear this a lot. I don't hear this dialogue a lot. And in LA, you see a lot of them.
Yes.
What's that like being your upbringing and?
And who's black and who's Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay, so my mother is so-called black. I like to identify us as West African. I say Blaxican just for cultural purpose. I
sure.
believe that black is a culture, not a race, not
For
a
sure.
nationality.
I agree with you.
But my mother, is black, so-called black. But my mother's family, from what I've traced back, is from West Africa. And that's what I, represent. And that's what I love.
Right.
And my father is Chicano, but that right there, it just means a person of Mexican descent that's born here in California.
Oh,
Or in
that's what
America in general.
Chicano means. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay.
It's a person of
Yeah.
Mexican descent born in
America, basically,
America.
but mainly California, Southern California. So Chicano is like a movement that came about in like the 60s or 70s. And the word itself is like a Native American word, Chicano. And it just means like you have like the pure blood, like you are like, Aztec and,
Wait a minute, that's so fire. So Chicano is not even Spanish.
It's actually, it's originally an indigenous term from the
That's
Aztecs. Yes.
fire.
Yes,
I did not
Chicano.
know that.
Yeah, Chicano.
Look, we already learned something.
In the same thing with Mexicano, like Mexican. That's
Mexicano. Mexican is like a combined. It's like Olmec and Incan.
but it's not Spanish. It's not European at all, right?
Well, after they mixed the race, it became that. Originally, it wasn't.
But the
that.
word though, the word itself.
Incan and Olmecs are original original people of
Right.
Mexico.
That's
Then
so
when the
fire.
European came in, it mixed the race even more.
That's so
yeah.
fire to know though. I don't think a lot of Mexican people know that or care to know?
They didn't take the Chicano study history class.
They offer that? Is that at the community college? I'll
At
take
that college, they do. Don't get me wrong, I didn't take that class either, but my teacher did, and he taught me all this.
That's
yes.
dope.
One of my teachers when I was in my undergrad.
Do you credit him for that? Like for
if I can remember his name, he was a really popular guy, and he was on all the Gangland episodes. He was undercover as like a
Oh really?
Oh yeah, he was undercover as like a Mexican coyote in Mexico. So he had like all this crazy information. They found out who he was. He had to like die, and then he came to live here in America, so that way they won't really find him and kill him.
Wow.
And he was undercover in like the cartel and all that.
This is before he was your teacher.
Before he was my teacher.
Wow.
He was always a cop. I went to school for criminal justice, and I went to a private school. So all my teachers were like cops. And
you
lawyers.
have a very. We're gonna get back. I want you to get back to the Black and Mexican
of course. I'm sorry.
grow
Yeah,
up. But I want to say this real quick. You have a very like layered life.
Yes.
Like everything you've experienced kind of like cultivated this person you are, which we'll get to. Okay, but tell us about the upbringing.
Okay, so my upbringing. So my mom, you know what I'm saying? She's a typical black woman. You feel me?
Okay.
Like, that's all I'm going to say.
Put that
My
on
mama,
there.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Put
my
that on
mama
there.
is a typical black woman. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She's very courageous. She's very strong. She's very brave. She overcame many obstacles in her life.
Oh.
She is a strong black woman.
There you
my
go.
mama. All day.
Shout out to Mama Reecee.
Yes. Her name Wanda.
Wanda.
But yeah, her name Wanda.
Shout out to you,
But yeah,
Wanda.
that's how mama is. So like, that's how I was raised with her. She taught me to be that way. She always told me, yo, daddy Mexican, not you. She would always tell me that. Like, yo, daddy Mexican, you ain't Mexican, you a black girl. You go on the streets, you a nigga. Like, my mama like a Black Panther, okay, y'all? Like, she wear a weave now, but she is Black Panther. She don't have the afro no more. She got the weave now.
Dope.
But yeah, my mom is like you black, like you got one drop of African blood in you, you a nigga. Like that's what it is in America. Like that's how we do out here.
Do you think really quickly that's her belief, or she's like that's how the people are going to treat you when you walk
well,
outside
that's how
house?
That's how she was brought up.
Okay.
And her mom is from the South. And her mom is from the South. Like my family from Louisiana, Arkansas. Like they grew up. It was crazy back in the day. I heard some horrible stories. So my mom comes from that because she heard her mom telling her that. So then she told me that. And I have a sister that's a year older than me, and she's very fair-skinned. Okay. Very fair-skinned. So people look at her, and they don't think that she's black all the time, you know? Yeah. But me and her, we look very similar, but she's very fair-skinned.
Yes, I met your sister before. Y'all do look like twins.
Yeah, but my mom would tell her the same thing. Like, girl, you black. Like, I don't care how light-skinned you are. The police see you, they ain't gonna look at you and look at your last name and see that your daddy is this. Like, no, that's not how it works out here.
Is it just you and your sister? Or you
I have a little brother, and then I have an older sister as well.
Okay, from the same parents?
Okay, my oldest sister, she has a different father. And then my mom found my dad. They got married like that. And then had my sister, then me. And later on, my brother came along. My brother is a lot younger
out of your
than
siblings, just you and your sister are the only two that are Blaxican.
My little brother is Blaxican as well.
Okay.
Yeah, my little brother, we had the same mom and dad. But he was just born way later. Like my parents, they had no business having no kids.
They rekindled.
My parents were married for like 20-something years. My parents were married for a long time. So people always hear me say that my father raised me. My dad did raise me because he was there my whole life. But my parents divorced when I was 15. And then I went with my father. And that's when, you know what I'm saying? Life was,
So is that
crazy.
when the Mexican pride party you kicked in when you went with your father?
No, because I was still up in Compton. Oh. Like I moved out of Compton, but my dad gave me a car when I was 15, so I was back in Compton every day. I didn't really care about going to school and getting education, and that wasn't what I was worried about. I didn't care about that. I was in the streets really heavy, and my dad, he didn't really condemn me for
Pretty
that.
Reecee was in the street. What you mean?
Yeah.
We need to know what you mean by that.
This is before Pretty Reecee. This is pre-Pretty Reecee.
Yeah. This right here was a whole different day of my life. And
was you gangbanging?
No comment. But
you gotta go Vlad TV. You ain't go Vlad TV, Reecee. She said, "Nah, I'm media trained, nigga."
Okay.
I'm from motherhood these days. Okay, I got 2 kids. I come from the street. So if you're not from somewhere, then you're affiliated. I'm from Compton. I'm from West Side Compton.
Off top.
I grew up on Compton and Wilmington.
Yeah,
like,
off top. So
like
it's no way around it.
Here.
Yeah,
it's really over here. But my friends just happen to be from Peru, so I would go up over there, and that would come back. And now I got problems with these niggas. I go up over there. got a problem with these bitches, and it was just always something.
Always something.
I was never no girly girl. I was always a tomboy. My dad wanted me and my sister to be boys, so he treated us like boys.
Wow.
Like my dad was like, y'all not about to have no Barbies. Like we finna go hiking and fishing, and y'all about to get this gun. And I'm gonna teach y'all how to shoot guns and all kind of crazy stuff. I was 5 years old. Like what I'm gonna tell my dad? No. Like this is
how
my
did your dad feel about? Did your dad see what your mom was instilling in you in terms of like the Black Power pride?
Yeah,
part?
he wasn't finna say nothing to her. What he gonna say?
That's what I'm saying. So
he gonna say nothing to her.
Did he try to balance it out? Like, okay, she's right, y'all Black, but you also Mexican.
No,
Okay.
My dad, he would let us know that we are. He's Chicano and that we have that in our blood. He would teach us our family history, but he was never like you're this or you're that. He never told me that. He just let me be me.
Okay.
My dad never like looked down on me for any decisions I made. He kind of encouraged a lot of the decisions I made because he knew my dad is from a hood. Okay, my dad is like a veterano. Like he
What?
a veterano, like an old school Chicano gangster. You feel me? Like my dad started gangbanging when he was like 10.
Oh, that's like veteran in Spanish?
Yeah, a veteran.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay.
So
You caught that? You caught that quick.
Yeah,
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
That Puerto Rican in my, okay. That's but yeah, so like my dad got tattoos and stuff when he was like 11. So
Damn.
when he saw me get tattoos at 14, he was like, "Oh, I'm glad that you waited some time. Like, good, I'm happy." Like
That was like accomplishment
yeah,
that you waited so long.
Yeah. So my dad, he just different. You know what I'm saying? He's not like real hard on me. He was never like that.
Got you.
My mom was very hard on me. She was not finna be having me out in the streets doing all this stuff. She would be very upset. So that's why I don't really talk about my mom too much because she's very ashamed of a lot of choices that I made, including
really?
battle rap. And she just be like, "Oh, I can't believe you're over there arguing with those girls." Oh,
Your
my
mom
God.
sounds a lot like B-Dot.
Yes. I'm an advocate for anybody against that. No,
Shout out to Wanda.
Shout out to Mama Wanda.
Oh my God, my mom, she just be like, "Oh, you're too beautiful to be out here arguing with these girls and that rap stuff." I can't. Mom, we're not arguing, we're rapping.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's ugly. I don't want to watch it. Like my mom is
Shout out
like,
to Mama Wanda. She gets it.
She real bougie
gets it.
sometimes. I be like, bro, give me a break, mom. But yeah,
What
like
time?
my mom.
So when in your life? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Well, when did you have? Was there a moment or a season in your life where you're like, oh, I gotta put this shit away?
Put what away?
Like the streets.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I was 28 years old. No, I was 27 years old, and I was pregnant with my daughter. And I caught a case, but it was something that I did years and years ago, and it came back for
Caught
me.
up to you.
Yeah, and it was some federal stuff.
Allegedly.
You feel me? It was like
Allegedly.
because I know what they're talking about. So yeah, man, they caught up with me. I was pregnant, and that's when I realized. I mean, I've done so much. Like I've done so much in my life, and people, you know what I'm saying, was there. They could vouch for all the shit that I've done. And I never cared about none of that shit, though. But once I was pregnant with my daughter and I got the feds at my house, like, boom, this is what's going on. I was like, bro, like I could just talking about it right now, I could just feel, like, the energy of it where I was just like, bro, I'm about to have this baby and I'm about to be in jail. Like, I'm not going to be there for my child. My child going to be raised without me. Like, I had to do something. So I did some spiritual things to reverse what was going on.
Who hipped you to
Real
that?
deep
Fire.
spiritual stuff. I'm sorry?
Who hipped you to that?
Oh, my spiritual teacher, his name was Winterhawk. He was a Native American man. He passed away a few years ago now. But during this time, I was really embarrassed by, having to tell him this. Oh, God. I told him, I was like, Winterhawk, I'm in some trouble. I'm pregnant. This is what it is. And he was like, are you sorry for what you did? I was like, yeah. He said, well, would you ever do it again? I said, no. He said, well, I'm going to help you. And then we did a karma releasing ceremony, and you reverse your karma. And we did it, and a few days later, the charges got dropped.
We definitely need that.
Dog.
We need some.
Stat.
We need
Yes.
I need
some karmic
that.
reverse.
Yes, I
Reverse
have everything. I have it written down
reverse my-
step by step.
Yeah.
You feel me? But
You know
this
what's
is
so
this is
interesting,
nothing
though?
to play with, though. Once you do it, you cannot go back to nothing.
You
that
can't-
you
you
ever
can't
done.
do that again.
You have to
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
that
It's like a
completely alone.
Baptism almost.
But you know what's interesting though,
Basically,
and what I
something
can
like
relate to you on, and I want you to like talk more about, is that you were already tapped in to these certain things,
Right.
while still being involved in
Yeah,
the streets.
it was hard
What-
to get out.
What was like? How come you couldn't just make that decision, or like talk about that, like the pull of the streets and the pull of like spirituality that kind of like makes you like feel like, damn, I'm doing both, like I'm in both, like.
I never thought about it. I feel like it's like that old ancient story. I forgot what culture says this, but it's like two dogs, a good dog, a bad dog. Like whichever one you're gonna feed more is gonna be more powerful.
Yes.
And I feel like I was just kind of like feeding the streets a little bit more. Like my children's father was the only person in my life that was adamantly like, you have to stop. You got to do better. Like, what is you doing? Like, you better than this. And I would tell him, like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about my life. Like, if I die tomorrow, I don't give a fuck. What are you talking about? And he would be, like, so hurt that I would tell him this. And it's like, oh, well. Yeah. Like this is where my life is at. I don't care.
What do you attribute that to? Just, like, the upbringing that you had?
Just my upbringing. Okay. Just my upbringing. Just how it was. Because, like, I was, like, 11 years old when I really, like, got involved, like, in the streets, like, out. Like, yo, man, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But that was all I knew. And I went to college, but I only went to college at first to tell my dad I was like doing something with my life. Like, oh yeah, Dad, I'm in college.
Just as a smoke screen to like the real shit.
Yeah, because it was like, oh yeah, Dad, like my dad know what I'm doing. Yeah, he the one who gave me weapons and shit. He the one who taught me how to use shit. Like he like, oh, if you're gonna be doing this shit. He the one that
give me weapons.
Yeah, he like, if you're gonna be out here doing this shit, then you gonna have to know what you're doing.
You gotta protect yourself.
Here you go. Like take care of yourself. Stay dangerous. Like do what you gotta do. Because my dad, he knows how it is growing up. You know what I'm saying, in the hood and shit like that. My mom does too, but she never really cared for like the street life. Yeah. She was always like, I gotta work, I gotta do better. I can't be like, you know, the rest of the family. Because my family, you know, gangs, in and out of prison, stuff like that on her side. Yeah. But my dad was just like, well, you gonna grow up one day. I can't live your life for you. You gonna
basically
live your own life.
Go bump your head.
Yeah, he was telling me like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Like, you gonna live your own life. Like, whatever you do, you're responsible for that, not me. No, like that's what you're doing. But if you are gonna do that, then here you go. And that was it. Like I used to smoke weed with my dad. We used to do all kind of shit together. Like me and my pops was always real tight. So it wasn't until I was, you know, catching that case, and that's when I was like, oh my God, like I gotta do something. I can't keep doing this no more. Like all my friends was just dying and going to prison for like 20-something years and all this crazy shit. And I was like, yeah, I gotta do something else. This ain't gonna work out. And that's when I started battle rapping, like for real.
Was that part of the decision? Like, okay, let me get into something else to kind of distract me from the street?
I think that battle rap just like, opened up like my creative mind. I've always had a very creative mind. I've always been very, very intelligent. I just used it for negative. I just used it for bad stuff. I used it to fucking plot shit. Like, oh nigga, we finna go up over here. We finna woo woo. Like, that's what I used it for. Yeah. And I was in school and I was real smart. I was always really, really just really intelligent. I don't want to brag too much. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, hey, talk your talk. Yeah.
But I was always like really intelligent. Like that's just how I was. Yeah. So my dad would always tell me like, you so smart, like use it for good. People always tell me like, you so smart, use it for good. And it's like, oh my God, for what? Like why? Yeah. But after I had my daughter, like my entire life changed because like my son, he would, you know what I'm saying? He's seen some things and stuff like that, but he would never try to imitate what I do. He wants to be like his father. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Like he want to be a rapper and he want to be on stage and he want to do all that. And that's cool. And my daughter, I just knew like once she sees me, she's going to want to do everything that I do. Yeah, of course. And my daughter is like, she tries to do everything that I do.
Your little twin.
Oh my God. Yeah. I be seeing her and she come home. She be like, girl. I be like, girl, you four, calm down. She be like, so? Yeah, my daughter is like my everything, and my son is too, but it's like that mother-daughter relationship. You know, my mom and I, we don't have the best relationship, but I want to make sure me and my daughter have the best relationship. For sure.
This story always interests me as someone who, I declare myself a Californier, right? It's like I wasn't born here, don't belong here, but like get to see that the way LA is portrayed to people that don't live here, it's always just like either it's like gang banging or glitz and glam from Hollywood, you know? These stories and people like this, I think the ripple effect that like Good Kid, Mad City caused is shedding light on more of these, what you two came from, which is like, which I think is the most dangerous person on the planet. Is someone that comes from that and has the intelligence to know when to channel that and know when not to go back. Like these stories always really, and there's like an emergence of them. Because it used to be just like, oh, LA's just gang niggas, you know what I mean? Like hood niggas and whatever. And now there's like uncovering, not that it's just new, but it's uncovering the people that are really intelligent in this environment.
It makes it cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes it cool for people like me and Reecee and people like come from our cloth to like exist now and have a voice.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, you always did.
Yeah, but it's
now
like,
it's finally some light.
Which is like kind of like, that's why I find that part really interesting. Like when she was already tapped in spiritually, but the streets is too much. But if you have people that are more vocal about it, then the next person coming up can make better choices earlier.
Right.
They ain't got to wait till the feds is knocking at the door.
Right,
You know
You're
what I'm
breaking the
saying?
cycle almost.
Yeah, because it's not worth it. That's why, like, I was always adamant about not raising my kids in Compton. I could have if I wanted to, but it was like, dang, do I really want my son to be out here doing the shit that I was doing? I don't want that for him. My son is so smart. He's so intelligent. He's so talented. Like, he's so amazing. He doesn't. He deserves better.
For
you know what I'm saying? So I
for
can't raise my son in that. You know what I'm saying? That environment or any
Imagine how
environment
many kids
like
get
that.
lost like that, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not like we're special because we are articulate and intelligent, but it's a lot of people like us that come up like that, and then at 12, 13, when you start getting put on hoods and all that, that shit just goes out the window. Like, oh, fuck all that smart shit. I'm out. Then you get niggas that just get super banged out and they never get back to like where we're at, like that balance, you know?
Yeah, because like I go to school, gang banging all at school. Outside, gang banging all outside. Like, then I go home, my mom up over here, oh girl, you better be doing this, you better be doing that, you better get good grades and all that. And it's like, I'm in the streets more than I'm at home. I'm at school more than I'm at home. Like, wherever you gonna be at, that's what's gonna be feeding your mind, especially when you're a young child.
For sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
I was like 11 years old, so all I know is what's in front of me.
For sure.
So that's just how it was growing up. But I'm just happy to say that I make better choices these days.
Absolutely.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't involve myself in no type of drama.
Absolutely.
I don't purposely put myself in places where I know it's going to be some shit going on. Like, I just kind of stay away from all that. I do have friends that are still in that, and I respect what they feel they got to do because that's how they were brought up, and that's what's encouraged in their household or whatever the case is. And I got nothing but love for them, but I'm not about to put myself in the line of fire when I know damn well I got shit to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a different type of, I think me and Dot have spoken about it before, but it's a different level of intelligence when you're in a bad situation, but you're intelligent enough to know that there's a better situation that you're capable of.
For sure.
Most people are in a bad situation, they're just like, this is how life is.
Yeah.
But if you're intelligent enough to be like, I can make a couple different decisions, there's a lot of weight and a lot of pressure and anxiety that comes along with that. Like, I'm intelligent enough to know that there's more to life than this.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
For sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's definitely hard because I remember feeling like I was at the bottom looking way at the top, like, shit, how I'm finna get up there? Like, damn, like what am I gonna do? But I always had spiritual knowledge. I always had like spiritual intelligence, and I knew like, okay, if I pray, I do right, I do this, I do that, like, something good is gonna happen. But it was like, the way that my life was, it was nothing but like bad choices in front of me. And it's like, well, shit, am I finna make this play right now? Am I finna make this move right here so I can get paid and do what I want to do? Or am I about to sit back and do the right thing? Like, I wasn't ready for that
struggle,
game.
like,
wild.
because
it's
it's like reality versus the spiritual side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got this spiritual tug on you wanting to do the right thing, and you got reality of how I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna pay this bill, how I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Plus, doing the correct thing or the legal thing or whatever is tough sometimes, especially when you're used to like. We've all gotten a paycheck, an official paycheck, and we've thought of like, I used to be able to get this.
Right.
In a day if I had a couple
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's tough
Exactly.
to make that kind of transition.
That's a fact.
Into living correctly, you know?
Yeah, I think that I used to have like a part-time job or something like that I would just like have like my cover up, like, oh yeah, dad, like I go to work, dad.
This is where this money's coming from.
Yeah. Well, he knew that most of the money wasn't coming from there, but
We used to make $10,000 at Home Depot. It's like, nah, something added up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my dad, he would just tell me like, hey man, like if you ever need me to like help you out, like I got you, but like I'm not gonna make choices for you. And then my dad was like, I want to put my dad business out there, but like my dad, you know what I'm saying? He would work a lot, and then he was also in the streets still too.
Still doing his thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like today,
that.
my dad doesn't do stuff like that. My dad is like straight and narrow today. But like growing up, I saw my dad
Still
hustling.
involved.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I can relate to that.
that's what he did. Yeah.
I can relate to that. I get
so
it.
it's like, you know, my dad understood. He didn't always like agree with everything I did, but I mean, if it was like problems in the streets or something, like my dad gonna be like, oh, you finna go fight somebody today? Like, yeah, dad, okay, we're gonna be out. I'm gonna put up, I'm gonna watch. Like shit like that. Like my dad would be there. Like
that's fire.
Yeah, oh God. My dad would cover for me for the police, all kind of shit. So it was always like, my dad was always like by my side and shit.
So I get all the street stuff, right? But where does the spiritual stuff come from?
Yeah.
Like, who implemented that?
Well, my mom raised me as a Christian.
Okay.
My mom raised me as a Christian. I've always had like a Christian knowledge. I was like Christian until I was like 18, 19. I think by the time I was 19, I was like, I can't do this no more.
Okay.
But I was like, grew up like knowing a lot about the Bible, church. My mom would make me read the Bible at nighttime sometimes. Like, you better go read this right here, and tell me what you read, and read Black Panther books and shit like that. So growing up, my family is like Christian. Like, my mom family is like, Baptist, Black Christian,
Southern,
catching the Holy Ghost.
From the South,
speaking in tongues, stuff like that. And my father's family, when they migrated into America, they had to assimilate. So they became ministers. They became like missionaries. Like, they went and like built churches and all kind of stuff.
Right.
They had to change their last name. All kind of, like, it was crazy.
Wow.
Back in, this like the early 1800s. Or I'm sorry, the late 1800s. But on both sides of the family, it's like Christianity.
Right.
So I always knew there was power in spirituality. And that's when I started getting older. I started asking questions. Okay, well, why is this like this? Okay, why does the Bible say that? Okay, that don't make no sense. Like, I was asking all these questions at the church.
And isn't that crazy though? But it just came out of nowhere though.
Yeah, but it just didn't make sense to me. I'm real like intelligent, so I know when something don't sound right.
Were you like the outcast in the family? Like, you were like the only one doing that? Okay.
Of course,
okay.
yeah. So it's like, why are you asking questions? Like,
right.
Don't question God. And it's like, that don't make no sense. Why can't I question God? Right. And also, since I was a little girl, I've always had very spiritual encounters with angels and, beings that aren't human and stuff like that. I would see them. They would come to me. I'd go to somebody's funeral. I would see them there. Somebody would die. They'll come wake me up out of my sleep. Oh, hey, I'm fine. I'm doing good. I'm about to go. Like, that kind of stuff would happen to me when I was little all the time. I thought everybody could see it. I thought it happened to everybody.
You thought it was normal.
I thought everybody was having that. But that's when I found out that wasn't the case. Christianity said that's the devil. You can't be talking to them, and that's bad. So it's like I had to like suppress my spiritual gifts. But the spiritual gifts were always in me, and I always knew things before it would happen, and have premonition, and have dreams, and all this stuff. And it was just like, there's no way that I'm wrong, and they're all right. Like, they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Yeah. So that's when I was like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. And I left the church. I was 19. Yes, I didn't have my son yet. I was 19. I left the church, and every Sunday I went to the beach, and I would just connect. I would just go to the beach every Sunday and just connect. And that right there is what really cultivated my spirituality. I started reading books. I started watching different documentaries and all this different stuff about spirituality and other people's spirituality. Like, what are they doing in India? What is, Hinduism about? Okay, let me go up over here at the Middle East. What is like Islam about?
It just sent you on a journey.
Yeah, I just started. Yeah, like, we can't all be wrong and we can't all be right. So let me search all these religions, all these cultures, and see what is it about all of them. What do they all have in common?
Yeah. So not that you have to label it, but if you were to describe your spirituality, how would you kind of put the parameters on it?
Okay, so I practice Ifa. Ifa is a West African Yoruba way of life. I mean, people call it a spiritual system. It's not a religion, a spiritual system, but it's actually a way of life. Yeah. And I trace my roots back to Yoruba. So what were the Yoruba people doing before colonization? Oh, they were practicing Ifa. So that's what I want to connect with. That's what I connected with. That's what feels good to me.
If most Black people did their ancestry, it would all go back to
Yoruba. It all goes back to Yoruba.
Yeah, if they did it, but they don't want to. But they don't
want to know. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to know all that. They want to. I ain't gonna go there. I love us. But we gotta do better in some aspects.
For sure.
But I would say that right there, coupled with Native American spirituality, because African spirituality and Native American spirituality practically mirror each other. It's different names for different stuff. Yeah. Like, they call different, things different names.
Deities, but the symbology behind it.
Yeah, but that's like the god of wind or the god of fire. In Yoruba, the god of fire is Shango, but maybe the Native Americans call the god of fire is something else. So it mirrors each other, because if you look back, that's the original way of life. Righteous. Like, you were like connected to the earth. You were connected to your ancestors. Right. Like, you were living your life righteously. And then this religion stuff come along, and it dismantles all that, and now you're being told that your original way of life of your people, your heritage, your ancestors is wrong and it's bad and it's the devil and all this stuff. And we even believe that, like, as a race. Yeah. Like, people call me a witch. She's a witch. Like, she's doing rituals.
And the funny part is, not to cut you real quick, but even that term witch, like, they demonized it and they made it a negative word.
That's why I ask people, well, what is a witch?
Right.
It's somebody who's not a Christian. Okay, well, if that's the case,
like a pagan. Like there's these terms that have been thrown out there by the dominant religion or the dominant practicing organized spirituality.
Yes.
They get to deem what's what. Negative. Oh, that's pagan. That's demonic.
Yes.
You know,
like for example, I wear the Santa Muerte. Like I love Santa Muerte, right? Yeah. So she was always a part of the Catholic Church. But people started like going to her a little bit too much, and they started saying, okay, well, too many people are like going to Santa Muerte. They need to stop doing that. So we're gonna outcast her. We're gonna demonize her. She's the devil. She's not a part of the Catholic Church no more. Oh, we can deal with her on Dia de los Muertos, and that's it. That's that one day. Yeah. But it's like no, like she was always a part of the Catholic Church. They kicked her out of the Catholic Church, and a lot of people went with her. Wow. Like, she's powerful. But actually, the Santa Muerte, what people don't know is a lot of the Catholic saints are actually Orishas.
Yes.
And that's where Santa Ria comes in, and that's where like voodoo comes in and stuff like that, because they had to disguise like the saints with like Catholic names and stuff like that. I don't want to get too much into that, but
in a nutshell, we could just generalize it like this: Europeans came through and they just plagiarized African culture and African spirituality and put it into their culture in new names and shit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it monetized it. Shout out to all the viewers we got from the Saga episode. But just saying.
We gotta play both sides.
We gotta balance it out now. You feel me?
But she was actually an Aztec goddess. Fire. And she has a husband, and I don't want to get to the whole thing, but she's very, very powerful.
So you connect, I'm sorry, say the name again?
Santa Muerte. It means holy death, like the saint of death.
Okay, and you connect that back to an Orisha. Is that correct?
She could be as an Orisha, but it's actually an Aztec goddess.
Oh, an Aztec goddess,
I'm
sorry.
Aztec goddess.
Okay, dope.
So she's like really, really powerful, like really powerful. So people go to her, but they always say, oh, only the cartel goes to her. Only people who are living on the fringes of society go to her. But no, like she's a very like mothering figure, and she's very protective. That's why she has like the scythe, and she's very fair, so that's why she carries the scales. She's very balanced. I'm a Libra, so I gotta, do my thing. But yeah, she's like,
so how much is all this information that when you pretty much left Christianity and got into Ifa and all these other Native American spiritual practices, how much of that like contributed to who you are today? And like, I mean, obviously, it's probably a stupid question, but obviously it's been better for you than...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, all of it has contributed. Like, I take everything in. I mean, all like as far as like Ifa, like Native American practice, I take all that in. I learn more than just that. I learn other cultures, but I mean, I don't really practice those cultures. I practice what my ancestors did. What my ancestors were a part of. My family is Aztec. Okay. Like, what were we doing? And then, what happened in Africa happened in Mexico, and to the native indigenous people. Colonization. Yeah. That happened here as well. Right. People that are Mexican will look at this and be like, oh, that's so bad. That's the devil. Why are you doing that?
Brainwashed too.
You're supposed to be with Jesus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Oh, Jesucristo. Bro, like calm down. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Like, oh God, it's so crazy. And then I fuck with the Orishas, and black people, oh, that's so bad, that's the devil.
They don't know.
But there's no such thing as the devil in Yoruba.
In African spirituality, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like on the continent in totality, there's no concept of the devil.
Or hell.
That's
all white man made.
We could get on that. We could get on that for days, but
we don't want to go there. We don't get too deep on it. But I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's good and it's bad. It's yin and it's yang. Right. It's ups and it's downs. I mean, that's life. It all comes together for the greater good, and it says that in the Bible. Like all things good and bad happen for the greater good. For sure. So that's why I don't totally condemn the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or any spiritual book, because most of it came from Africa.
Anyways, ding,
ding.
They
just reworded it and used it they weaponized it.
Righteous.
To, enslave the masses and to justify them killing the masses.
For sure.
Of people that look like us.
Reecee, with your spiritual gifts, I'm glad we're talking about this, because you've used that to kind of form your own businesses too. Like, you do palm reading.
I'm a tarot reader.
Different.
Yes.
Can you Explain to me the difference.
Okay, so palm reading is the lines on your hands all have different meanings.
Okay.
I don't really know too much about palm reading, to be honest. I've never gotten my palm read or anything like that. But that right there is like when people could look at the lines on your hand, they could tell you different things from the formations of the lines on your hand, your fingerprints, all that. Okay. It all says something about you.
And tarot.
Tarot is with cards. So the tarot actually.
I got one before. And it freaked me out. This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. Honestly,
I brought my cards, by the way.
No, honestly, this is the part where I keep it a buck for me, because it's like, for me, I get to a certain point with certain stuff where I gotta tap out. Yeah. Like I could be with Reecee all the way. We got the same. We both practice E5. We got the same stuff. And as soon as she pull out them cards, I'm like, hey Reecee, I gotta tap out on that one. Like that's the one.
Subscribe. This is why B-Dot won't do shrooms. I'm trying
He want me to do shrooms and shit. I'm like, this is where I tap out.
Oh my God. You know what? I used to be like that. Yeah. I wasn't always in a tarot. I was like, oh hell no. I had a dream one time because I wanted to get a tarot reading done, but I was so scared. I had a dream that this lady did these cards and she showed me some information, and I was really, really scared. Yeah. And I was with my children's father at the time, and I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I had this bad dream. Don't go to work today. Stay with me. I'm so scared. And he was like, what? Like, it's a dream. Like, calm down. Yeah. And
but you're so into your spirituality that it means more.
All my dreams mean something.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of them do. But it took me a very long time to get a reading. I only went and got a reading. Well, I went to see this psychic. She's a Native American shaman. And she was giving me a reading about somebody who passed away, and I couldn't get over their death. And she pulled out these cards, and I'm sitting here freaking out like, oh my God, what is she going to tell me? But everything was actually really, really good. And that day I went and got my own cards, and I just learned, and I just knew it. Like, it was just like, oh, this, like, once I looked at them, I just knew them. So, and boom, that's it.
Just like Christianity and Islam and all these other religions can be used to control or to miseducate or whatever, can this stuff be used? Do you feel like it could be used in a negative way? Like, what if I go get a tarot card reading with a chick and she like me, she like, your cards say you're supposed to be with me. And
hell no.
No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying though, because I've heard stories. I've heard stories. No, hear me out. I've heard stories where women, like, there are, and I love my black sisters that practice these things, but I have heard that some of them, use it for other purposes. Yes. And to take advantage.
Yes.
So I want to know your opinions on that.
It's going back to like the Miss Cleo days. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. So listen, anything could be used for good. Anything could be used for bad. If somebody's energy is bad, they're going to tap into the negative side of things, and they're going to twist it to what they want it to be. Christianity, it probably was good at one point, but they took the writings and they twisted it and they weaponized it to enslave people.
So for me, how will we differentiate? How will we know?
Yeah, you have to have discernment within yourself. So for me, so let me talk about the history real quick, and just briefly. Okay. The earliest metal carvings were tarot cards from Africa, from Kemet, as a matter of fact. Okay? The high priestesses and the high priests would use it to settle disputes and quarrels.
Kemet is ancient Egypt, by the way.
Yes, ancient Egypt. I'm sorry.
They don't know that stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you're following the B-Dot podcast, you should know that.
You should know what Kemet is.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so the Europeans came and invaded Africa, took everything, including the cards, made their own version of it, and put that out. So, they changed two of the cards. Okay. One of the cards was transformation. They made that into death. Like you already know, we don't believe in death.
So they put the negative connotations on our culture.
So they put death. Okay. But that just means transformation. And the other card was the devil card. It's a devil card in there, but it just means bondage. It means like you're keeping yourself in bondage to something. Or with someone. And the card depicts you can look at the card and you know that like it's bondage, but it's bondage that you can easily get out of. But they call it the devil. We didn't believe in the devil. They said Ishu was the devil. Right. Yeah, the Orisha. Yeah. They said that he was the devil. He's like a trickster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know about the Orishas.
African trickster deities, they always get negative connotations that they're demonic and shit.
In like the first Bible, when they took it from Africa and turned it into like the first European language, which was probably Greek or something at that time, they made the devil Ishu. They put that
because that's their only concept of it. They can't conceptualize African concepts.
Yes, exactly. But no. I personally, I don't use the cards for no evil. People try to hit me up like, oh, can you tell me what so-and-so was doing? Like, no.
That's
like, no.
That's my point. Yes. Now that's my point.
Yes, and that right there is like if you get in bondage with some negative spirits and do stuff like that, those spirits don't have no contract to nobody. They can come back for you.
Right.
And like, I don't even need to know that to not do it. I won't do that because I'm too righteous for that, period.
Okay.
But no, I use the cards for good. There's no such thing as death. If somebody comes to you and says, oh, the cards say that so-and-so's going to die, that person is not reading the cards correctly at all. Unfortunately, you don't got to take a class to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? People just take it and they just do what they want to do with it. Hit people up. Hey, the spirits told me that I got to come give you a reading. Give me $500. People do stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I first came out, bro, when I first came on the scene as B. Dot, the God, the battle rapper, and my shit started going viral, you know how many fake babalawos, which is Ifa priests and shit, and all these readers was DMing me like, oh, I need to tap in with you. I need to I need to do your reading, bro.
Yeah,
so
I would never do that.
It's a scamming part of it too. That
of course,
exists.
it's a scamming part of all kind of shit. But there's a spiritual scamming that's like really rampant right now, like crazy rampant right now. But I think that people need to have knowledge and discernment. Don't go up over there getting involved with these people. You don't know who these people are. Oh, what they put a hex on me, bitch? You better go do a cleanse. Like you, all you gotta do is just get you an egg and some salt and a glass of water. And you
EK, how do you feel about this? Because it's interesting. Because me and EK too, we agree. It's cool that I'm sitting in the middle too, because I agree with like 95% of Reecee stuff, and I agree with like 90% EK stuff too, in terms of like, you know, EK is like an atheist, like straight up.
Yeah, I've had conversations.
How do you feel? I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, bro.
No.
Okay. How do you feel when you hear like the interaction, the conversation we're having about spirituality, about all this stuff? Like, is it for you? Is it literally just one ear out the other, or do sometimes you be like, oh, that's interesting, okay?
No, man, I always listen, especially when someone speaks with this much knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you're not listening to things like this and considering it, you're too egotistical to think to
learn,
progress.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So I will always say, well, my beliefs are seasonal, man.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe that we just return to the dirt when we're done, and
Gotcha.
our spirit goes there too.
Gotcha.
But hearing things like this, I'm always like, I like
just open to the conversation.
Yeah, I like it to get into a car crash, man. You're scraping paint with people, and now it's like that's with you now forever. You know, I do believe that humans are very spooky and very greatly talented. So I think me and Reecee have talked about astrology and horoscopes before, where I think that humans are more likely to give self-fulfilling prophecies if they see something written in their horoscope,
Of course.
than they are likely to attend to a water sign. But
you see how weird that is? Because that's I agree with him on that. Like for me, like we can talk about Ifa, I'm like, I'm over here. Then when he says, I don't really fuck with astrology, yep, me neither. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I just think
get
we're
it.
very
Like,
powerful to that. If I were to read a horoscope, I'm a Libra too. I would be
Oh
qualified.
yeah, I know.
Too.
Yeah, you're a Libra.
And if something told me on a piece of paper, I think our brains are so powerful that they can make those things happen, and then all of a sudden it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's never predetermined.
Got
but
you.
You as a human is so powerful
having
that
that
you can make
experience.
those things happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. When I'm 40,
I just have to ask you that. I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, bro is atheist. I wonder how he's interpreting all this information. You know what I'm saying?
It's great. It's great to hear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I think now this is a really sitting on the fence answer, but I think humans are so advanced now that we can create worlds that if someone were to believe in a God and I don't, both of us could be right. Now that could be a stoner thought, but
no, I agree. That's so dope that you said that, because I agree, because I personally feel like spirituality is an individual experience.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If somebody walked in the room right now and was like, a leprechaun comes to me every night and floats above me and tells me stuff, I'm not there. I can't disprove that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I can't. And if that's that person's spiritual experience as an individual, I have to respect that.
Right.
Like, I can't do nothing with that.
like
Yeah,
my mom
but
is
wait.
the type that'll find a $20 bill in her pocket and be like, "Oh, thank God, praise Jesus." I'm like, "Mom, you left the 20 in your
Yeah.
But that's real. You can't tell her shit. That's
for
Jesus
sure.
blessing you.
For sure.
Oh my God, you were so crazy.
You don't want to
I was
ask
gonna
you
say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll ask you.
I was going to say something really quick. Okay, no, but I don't disagree with what you're saying, though, because I've read many books, and it says that people who are atheists have experiences where they die and they come back to life. But when they were dead, there was complete darkness. They were underground.
Yeah.
And then when the doctor brings them back to life and says, hey, what happened to you? Where were you? Oh, I was underground. It was all dark. Like, how did I get out of there?
Can you imagine that?
But you bring that onto your own mind.
You
like,
died for a minute.
Yeah, the person
No,
died.
if that's right, like if that's right, and the person died and they were just in complete darkness, like that would suck if that's what it is.
But that right there happened to that person because
You know what I'm saying?
that's all their mind could consume. That's all their mind can go to. So they created that for themselves.
They created.
And
I see what
once
you're saying.
Once you're in the spiritual spiritual world, your mind is so, like you're saying, your mind is very powerful. It absolutely is. And you can create that for yourself in the afterlife.
Which would make everybody right.
Which would make everybody correct.
Because if a Christian has a near-death experience or they die for 2 minutes, they're probably going to see Jesus.
People have said that. Yeah. People say, oh, I saw Jesus and he told me this and that. Like, I think I told you guys, I died before and I came back to life.
No,
I never told you guys. I probably told you, right?
You can't just slide that bit of information.
That's
like I've told you that before.
That's definitely about to be a battle bar.
No, I would know if you told me.
No, I don't care.
That's definitely about to be a battle bar.
I don't
like,
care.
didn't you die before? Well, die again.
This time you won't be coming back.
Oh God, that's like so cheap and corny.
It is, but battle rap is cheap and corny. So like, yeah.
Be that the battle rapper. But no, that would be stupid. I got rebuttals anyway. I don't give a fuck. But no, like no, for real. Like my children's father was the one who brought me back. Like,
oh, word?
Yeah. My son was one. I was 22 at the time. Yeah, and when I left, it was some shit.
Do you mind sharing how you passed? Or I mean,
does it matter the time limit? I feel like it's like a long story, kind of.
Okay.
Maybe next time or something. But no, it's like an extensive story, and I had never said this story publicly. I don't think.
Don't do it.
But I don't mind talking about it. I'm putting it in like a book actually, like an extensive story of it. But no, like it was amazing. It was beautiful. I was depressed when I came back. I was begging. I was begging God. God, please don't send me back to my body. Let me stay here. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen ever. That kind of happiness and that beauty and that love and that divine realm does not exist here. So when I was literally sucked back into my body, I was like depressed. I was mad. I was like, bro, why am I here? Like, this earth is horrible.
See, this is why the way she passionately speaks about that, I'm like, there's got to be some merit and truth to that. You know, like, so like, if I were to die, the thing is, like, most atheists are just like, they beat their chest. They want to tell everyone they're atheists. Yeah. I'm not like that. If I die and I see God, I would be like, oh, my bad, my nigga. Right. My fault, man. You can see why it was hard to believe, right?
On everything.
Right? I'm like, my bad, man. I can still come in, right?
God, that's so funny.
God, that's comedy. What I wanted to ask you though is now I'm gonna be I don't want to say put you on the spot, but I'm gonna be aggressive with this question.
Okay.
You got all this knowledge. You got all this information. You know where I'm going. You're a beautiful spirit. You got all this, and you talented as fuck. Then you get in a battle, and then you like, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna kill you.
Bitch, I will shoot you. What the fuck? Bitch, I will shoot you. I'm from Compton, bitch. At the end of the day.
I know.
Yes.
But do you ever feel like, with all the information you have and the beautiful way you could potentially articulate that, and how many people you could, I don't want to use the word save, that's a religious term, but you know what I mean. How many people you can enlighten.
Inform, yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you do that?
I feel like I do, but I feel like, okay, so for example, it depends on who I'm battling, okay? It does bother me to tear people down. Okay. I don't want to tear people down, okay? I don't like to do that. I battled this girl Torture. She was being really mean to me leading up to the battle, so I was like, well, bitch.
She was being mean to me.
She was being mean to me, so I was like, oh, okay then, bitch. So my third round, I like went in on her and like said fucked up shit to her. I didn't care. Yeah. But now it's like, dang, like, oh, that was like, I mean, it's out there now. Who gives a fuck? But it's like when I battled Gaddis, I could have told Gaddis all kind of fucked up shit. I think that the most horriblest thing I feel I said to her was about her wearing an ankh. Like an ankh represents a man, woman, and child, and they don't even fit your lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's me feeling like I'm enlightening people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when I battled like my verse, I could have told her all kind of shit. I could have said all kind of shit to all kind of bitches, but I choose not to. Shuni, when I battled Shuni, I'm the first person that ever battled Shuni that didn't bring up her past with men, her and her husband's relationship and all this stuff. I didn't bring up any of that. Okay. I talked to her about her saying the black bitch stuff in the third round. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like I was educated.
Okay, so you feel like you do it enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But if you go into a battle, if you go into a rap battle and you up over here, you are a beautiful queen. Like, what did I like?
What is the purpose?
Now?
What is the
yeah.
Say, why would I battle rap like that?
Yeah, I feel like battle rap for me is a creative outlet for me to express myself, and I'm not just one person. I'm not just like one. I'm very eclectic. Yeah. Okay, I grew up in Compton. I went to college. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a mother. I'm educated. I seek knowledge outside of education. I mean, I'm all these different things. I'm going to bring a little bit of all that into the battle. You're going to hear about some Compton shit.
If there's anywhere to display all of that, it should be battle rap.
Absolutely.
That's a good case. That's one of the best cases we've heard.
For sure. She got me rethinking some shit. Like, yeah. Maybe I should start do this shit.
Plus, do you think, for both of you, there's beauty in destruction a little bit?
Absolutely. You have to destroy to rebuild. You have to destroy to rebuild, 5%.
But the problem, I agree with that, but I agree with that, like, internally, though. Like for yourself. Because when you're doing it to somebody else, it's like, sometimes I be watching some shit, I'm like, who am I to say that, bro? Like,
really?
Like, that's pretentious and judgmental in a sense. Like, who am I to be like, da-da-da-da-da, and you should have like, who am I to do that? When I got my own demons and skeletons and shit. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I look at it like that. I do agree though, destroy and rebuild, but like yourself. Like,
but you have to get your own mind off of yourself and put your mind on your opponent, because your opponent isn't thinking about themselves. Oh man, I'm fucked up. I'm a bad person. But he's gonna come. Your opponent's gonna come and they're gonna want to tear you down. For sure. Okay, so you have to remember that. It's a war. It's a battle.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But that's why, for me, that's why I gotta step away.
Yes.
Because I'm not there no more. And I think that's what happened to Lux too. I don't think nobody talks about it.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, when you watch a Lux interview, watch him doing everything, it's always, and I hate when they compare me to Lux because I wish I was that happy.
Yeah, he seems like he's in a good place. Hey, what's up, handsome? Hey, handsome.
Oh, it's always you, never marvelous. It's always you, never me. You know what
I love Lex. Oh
you
my
know,
God,
I love him too. He's a beautiful spirit. Like,
yes.
you know, like, and then when you see him battle, you can tell he's trying. Like, he's trying to get back in like this contentious space
that he's not in anymore.
But he's too far gone.
Yeah.
He's at peace. So it's like, bro, go be at peace, bro.
Yeah.
This ain't for you no more. And I feel like that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not at peace, but I want peace. So because I want peace, this ain't for me no more.
You have to you have to tap out of whatever is not bringing you peace in your life if you feel that you're right there. But me, I feel like I'm very balanced. Like I have like a really good balance going on in my life. So if I'm wanting to take a battle, I can take a battle and live my regular everyday life. I don't feel like, oh man, I'm gonna say bad things to this person. Like most of the time, that's why I don't want to battle people that I admire. Like I feel like I admire Gaddis too much when I battle her. I admire my verse too much when I battle her. And it was like, oh, I can't say this to her. I don't want to say that to her. Like, cause I had some shit and I let Gaddis hear some of the shit I had for her, and she was like, yo, that's crazy. Why you didn't say it to me? Like what? And I was like, man, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. But that's why. You know what I'm saying? Like going forward, like I want to battle people where I don't have no emotional connection to them. And I want to just be able to say what I want to say and talk about me and like, you know what I'm saying, dispel, you know, rumors and shit like that about me, you know, the whole witch situation, whatever the fuck they want to call me. But like educate people.
Wait, who's calling you a witch? Like battle rap culture?
Yeah.
Who's calling Reecee a witch?
Yo.
What are we
I
doing?
just think it's ignorant. I think that people are not educated.
Like you talking about like fans and trolls and shit? Or you talking
no,
about like
they say that
rappers?
They say that about me. They think that I'm a witch. I'm gonna put a spell on somebody or something like that. Just because I know the knowledge, just because I have knowledge of that kind of negative stuff, doesn't mean I'm gonna utilize it. Because once you do something bad, it's gonna come back to you. Because what goes around comes around. If you put out negative energy, it's gonna come back to you. That's life. Whatever you put out comes back. Do atheists believe that? Like if you do bad things can happen back to you. Do you guys believe that?
That's just karma.
Atheists don't believe shit.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Because karma to me is like, if I do good things will come back, and I'm always just like, why don't I just do good things for myself and cut out the middleman?
And you see, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I be
But it's also like where your energy is at. If you also where your mind is at, because if you're always expecting bad things to happen, then bad things are gonna come to 100%. You. So it's also to me, it's like about being righteous and keeping they say Jesus Christ, but really Christ is a state of mind. It's like, it's a state of being. And it's like your top chakra, your crown chakra, crystals. Like that's it. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but it's like you being like in line with yourself and you just being happy and righteous and not being out here like, oh, let me be a fucked up ass person. Like that won't even come to your mind because that doesn't even live in you. It doesn't even live in your Merkaba. Like you just out here thriving.
And you can't be dropping just words like that. They
my God, I'm sorry.
They were like, what's Merkaba?
Your energy field, okay? God.
Yeah, me too. You gotta bring me along slowly too. I was like, what? I thought that was a Birkin bag. I don't know. You got the new Merkaba? Oh shit.
I'm crying, bro.
Oh my God,
Hey,
that is so funny. please.
We're going to get out of here in a little bit, but I want you to talk about your products for 7 Wonders, please.
Oh, of course,
Please.
of course. Okay, so these are my products from 7 Wonders.
Get that.
Okay, so all the way to...
Do you mind if I...
Oh, of course, yeah. That there is my hair growth oil. Okay, and this right here can be used...
Oh, that's what I need. I'm hitting 40. I need this.
Oh, God. That right there is a hair growth oil. That right there is set to, like, make your hair grow, make your hair shine, make your hair thrive. I have a lot of very, like, African products in there, like Chebby powder. I have fenugreek powder. I have a lot of very good, rich oils. Most of my stuff is outsourced from Africa. It's all natural, all organic.
Where?
Yes.
Outsourced to Africa?
That's
Yes,
so
yes.
dope.
People can easily buy stuff here, but I like make sure I like go
Get the
to the
real
motherland.
shit.
Yes, absolutely.
And
I
7
have,
Wonders, CEVYN.
yeah,
Wonders.com. We'll put it down
CEVYN.
here.
Yeah, 7wonders.shop if you would like to support. I also have an Instagram at 7wonders. So that there is
This
the
shit
shea
gonna make
butter.
my beard connect or no?
What?
For real. That's what I need too.
I need to make my beard
Oh
connect,
yeah, that's
man.
also, you can use that as a beard oil as well. And this here is the shea butter. The shea butter, and all my stuff is infused.
Can I smell?
Of course.
I know this shit smells fire.
Yes, it is. This one is infused with the healing crystal, with the rose quartz healing crystal, and I have affirmations printed on the bottle as well for you to say affirmations.
No, that's fire.
Okay, and then up here I have this one here is the the face pudding. The face pudding is a face scrub, a very gentle face scrub that is made with chocolate, and chocolate is actually cacao powder.
Okay.
And that right there is like a really gentle exfoliant for your face, and it has other natural ingredients in there as well. But that right there is to reduce redness, reduce acne, reduce blemishes, even out your skin tone, and that's all natural. That's infused with the soda light crystal. And then I also have the Lips Like Honey. This right here is a part of your dental hygiene routine. So after you brush your teeth, you would just scrub that on your lips and like around your mouth, and it will just buff away any and all dryness and cracks.
Crazy.
And it's gonna like really pull out any and all impurities from your lips.
So fire.
And then I have, that one's infused with soda light as well. Then I have the Crystal Clear Coffee Scrub. And this right here is for your whole body. This one here is a little bit more coarse, and it does have essential oil in it. So I wouldn't suggest you use it on your face unless you do like a patch test first. I mean, you could, but it'll be very harsh for like gentle skin and stuff like that. But this here is for your whole body. If you want to be feeling like a satin pillow, you definitely need to get you some of that coffee scrub and follow up with that shea butter. And I also have some oils here. These are power oils. So the power oils, this one here is called Calming Amethyst, and this right here is infused with lavender essential oil, and I also have some amethyst crystals in here.
Crazy.
And this one here is, you just put it on your pulse points, and then this right here is what you would use after a long day. It's gonna calm you down. It's gonna bring you back to your center. Okay, that's what this is for. And the other one I have right here is Heavenly Love. This right here is for your heart chakra primarily because it does have rose quartz, and it also is infused with rose oil. But this right here is for you to just have more self-love and just, make your heart chakra align with the rest of your chakras for you to receive love and give love a little bit more easier. But this right here is really good. I have another one that's not up here today, but it is called I Am Power. And that one is for you to feel empowered, for you to feel confident. That one is also really good to fight against depression, bipolar disorder, and a lot of like mental diseases. I am a mental health therapist as well.
Everything.
Yes,
Cooking, bro.
I'm a mental health
So
therapist, so
fire.
I use like my mental health knowledge in all my products, as well as my spirituality, done with the crystals and the essential oils and everything being natural. Because I used to have really bad skin problems. Growing up, I always wore like long sleeves and stuff. I had like really bad eczema on my arms. So I started making my own products, when I was young, and I just perfected it as I got older. And then I started giving it away as gifts to people, just, so I gave them like a gift. And then I was like, this girl told me like, yo, like you should sell this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have a career, I have a job, like I don't need to. But once the pandemic happened, that's when it really hit me. Like, yo, like I have this like corporate ass job. I'm not 100% happy here. I'm the only like black person. I'm very educated, and I still get like treated kind of bad, So I didn't really like that. So I was like, you know what? I have to make a plan to get the fuck up out of here. I can't do this shit no more. Like I'm too talented. I know too much. I could like make a living for myself outside of this fucked up ass job. So I just took all my knowledge and skills, and I just used my spirituality as well to just you know, build up my vision, and here we are today. I have these products here. I have lighters as well, with, you know, my picture on the, you know what I'm saying? And I have other stuff.
Let's go.
Make sure you guys go get my lighter. I have a Serious B lighter. I have a Good Vibes lighter, a Lights Up lighter, and I also have a Light Work lighter. So there's different images of me on there. And I also have my merch coming very soon as well. And I just have, like, you know, all kind of products that I want to share with the world. And I want to be able to, you know, show my children that, you know, this is possible. You can do whatever you want to do in life. Like, the odds that were stacked against me, I defied all those odds, and I'm here today. And I have to continue to defy more odds, because you're always going to be set up against the odds. Defy all them bitches and shine while you're doing it. Okay.
Round. That's crazy. I wanted to just add really quickly that I always try to support anybody that's trying to go out on their own, but it means a little different when someone's actually doing the work. Yeah. That's knowledge, has spent real time, that is like really giving us a good product that means something.
And you know, that lives the brand.
That lives the brand.
Like, this is you as a person.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So I want to congratulate you on that, because it's not.
much.
It's one thing. I think it's cool how affirmations have become in the zeitgeist now. But it's one thing to just have affirmations and take your ass back to sleep. Right. Like affirmations, and Reecee affirms things, then she goes out and gets them, man. 100%. And that's they have to work hand in hand. So I appreciate that, man. Yes. Thank you for coming here. And another podcast, most importantly, where I have two guests that beat both of them. So I like he all yeah. It's only for myself too, to make myself believe it. You know what I mean?
I was like, who are you talking about? He's talking about us. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm being attacked right now. Aside. Oh my God. I'm in DK.
Wait, which one is the Receive Love one?
That one there.
Man, I might have to mess with this.
You can have
I've seen B-Dot's DMs. He doesn't need this. I've seen
Oh my God. Okay, give me a break. Don't put him out there on the spot.
Which one is for eczema? My son got eczema.
Oh yeah, this one here would be for eczema, and then the shea butter as well. I have another shea butter that's more gentle. It could be used for kids, but this would work good for him as well. I have one called Shea and Peace, and that one is made with coconut butter, primarily coconut butter. But coconut butter is more for like your face or for like a baby, something like that. I'm
gonna buy some shit for sure.
Yeah, please.
Yes, definitely.
Reecee, before on the Hold the Elevator podcast, before we let everyone go, we have a segment called Give People an Angle, right? So you got to admit something embarrassing about yourself that a future opponent might be able to use against you. It's a free.
I think I already said it. That the fact that I passed away that one time.
No, that's not embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing?
You're not embarrassed by that.
No.
Not anymore. I didn't talk about that situation for like 5 years after it happened. I would not utter a word about it. It took a long time. This happened in 2011. It took me a very long time to be comfortable to even talk about it. My dad was the first person I told, and he was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I'm like, "I couldn't. I didn't know how." Yeah. Like, what do you say? I died? Like, you know?
Well, what's something simple? Because best two examples. Oh yeah, please give your example.
Mine's is I like mayonnaise. Well, vegan mayonnaise now because I'm vegan. But black people don't like mayonnaise, so when I say it, niggas be like, "You like mayonnaise? The fuck?" Like,
I don't like mayonnaise. I'm really picky about what I eat. I don't eat mayonnaise.
That's what I'm saying. That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing for me to say public to black.
Charlie Clips could have got 3 minutes out of him liking mayonnaise.
You like mayonnaise, my nigga?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything.
This is why we always have to prep people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to I'm like an open book. I don't really get like embarrassed by too many things. I mean, oh my God, I don't know. What do you say?
Are you No, I was gonna say you're not embarrassed by
guilty pleasures. Any guilty pleasures?
I was gonna say, are you embarrassed by your past and that you was in the street, but you're not?
No, I'm not. Still. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything that I went through, it made me me, and can't nobody make me feel bad about who I am. That's right. Like, you can't make me feel bad about who I am. You can't shame me about my mind, body, spirit, nothing. Like, I don't care. Like, this is me. This is who I am. This is who God created me to be. Righteous. Like, you bitches should be embarrassed because y'all out here altering everything.
Let's get into that.
All right.
We ain't gonna go there though.
Hey, the crazy part about Reecee is she'll say some super enlightened shit and then she'll still let you know she's with the shit. So
right.
I told you, I'm medium ghetto. I'm medium ghetto. Okay, yes.
Any final words before we get out of here, Reecee?
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I had a really good time on the podcast. I really like the content that we talked about. Yes, and also, 7 Wonders, support my brand.
Go out and get that. Beat
up.
Yes.
No, that's it. Make sure y'all support the Homegirl brand.
Yes.
And it was a pleasure having
you. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I love y'all.
And let us know, fans, subscribers. Me and B-Dot are having this war of whether these should be 30 minutes or an hour. I think he's winning. The last 2 have been an hour, and it feels more organic.
Y'all know I got 7-minute rounds.
But it's
podcast. So